So, aviation has its own language of hundreds of aeronautical terms. You will find the most common abbreviation term as well as some not so common aviation terms. Some come from the French, German, even military uses, but remember that English is always the official language of aviation. You need to learn all of the abbreviations, slangs, and the definition of aviation words. In the previous discussion, we discussed the aviation terminology that starts with alphabet A and B. Now let's start with alphabet C. Cabin crew, the airline staff members responsible for the safety and comfort of passengers during flight, typically the flight attendants. Calibrated airspeed, the indicated airspeed corrected for position and instrument error. Camber, the convexity of curve on an aircraft wing. CAVU, ceiling and visibility unlimited, describes ideal flying conditions with visibility of 10 or more miles and ceiling of at least 10,000 feet. Cargo goods carried on an aircraft, ceiling the height of the lowest cloud layer or obscuring phenomena that is reported as broken, overcast, or obscuration and not classified as thin or partial. Center of gravity, the longitudinal and lateral point over which the aircraft would balance. Charter, the business of renting all seats on an aircraft rather than a commercial flight where seats are sold individually. Check ride, this is the more common name for the FAA practical test. Pilots must pass a check ride for each certification or rating. Chord line, the imaginary straight line running between the airfoils leading and trailing is. Clearance, the authorization provided by air traffic control for aircraft to proceed with a particular action in controlled airspace, which is designed to prevent aircraft collisions. Climb, the act of increasing aircraft altitude typically to a designated level. Cockpit, the cockpit of a plane is located at the front. It contains the instrument panel and pilot seats. COF, a certificate of airworthiness. Common traffic advisory frequency, CTAF, a radio frequency used for air-to-air communication, allowing continued aircraft operation at non-towered airports or outside of tower operating hours. Commuter, an aircraft category outlined by the FAA as limited to propeller-driven multi-engine airplanes that have a seating configuration excluding pilot seats of 19 or less and a maximum certificated takeoff weight of 19,000 pounds or less. The commuter category operation is limited to any maneuver in the incident to normal flying stalls except whip stalls and stiff turns in which the angle of bank is not more than 60 degrees. Constant speed propeller, a propeller designed to maintain a constant engine RPM by automatic increases and decreases of the blade pitch. Contrail, a streak of condensed water vapor in the air due to the heat produced by aircraft engines at high altitude. Controlled airspace, designated airspace within which air traffic control provides aircraft movement instructions and regulations. Course deviation indicator, a navigational instrument that displays the lateral course deviation. When the aircraft is flying left of the selected course, the needle deflects proportionally to the right. When the aircraft is flight right of the selected course, the needle deflects proportionally to the left. Cross-country flight, XC. A cross-country flight requires special flight training. This is required by the FAA to learn your PPL. A pilot must land at an airport other than the other than the place of departure. 3 full stop landings are required. Crosswind, wind that is blowing perpendicular to the aircraft course. Terminology that start with alphabet G. Density altitude. Density altitude is the air density given as a height above mean sea level. The density altitude is considered to be the pressure altitude adjusted for a non-standard temperature. Descent, the act of decreasing aircraft altitude typically to a designated level. Distance measuring equipment. DME, radio navigation technology, is to measure the distance between the aircraft and ground station. Distress, an internationally recognized signal for danger and need for immediate assistance. It is a condition of the threat by serious and or imminent danger and signals the need for immediate assistance. DME, designated mechanic examiner. Dogfight, a close-range aerial battle between two aircraft. This occurred in everywhere, involving planes until 1992. Downwind leg, a flight path parallel to but running the opposite direction of the runway intended for landing. Drag, a parallel and opposing force to an aircraft motion through the air. Doors, direct user access terminal services. Aviation terminology that starts with alphabet E. EASA, European Aviation Safety Agency, elevator horizontal service that control aircraft pitch. It is on the empennage part of the aircraft and are typically hinged to the stabilizer. Empennage, another phrase for the tail of an aircraft which provides stability during flight. ETA, estimated time of arrival, the time you will arrive at a destination based on the local time. ETD, estimated time of departure, the time you plan to depart. ET, estimated time and route, the amount of time you will spend traveling to a destination. Aviation terminology that starts with alphabet F. FAA, Federation Aviation Administration, the governing body of civil aviation in the United States. FARs, Federal Aviation Regulations. FAA, rules governing aviation in the US. FBO, Fixed Base Operator, an airfield operation where pilots may find fuel and other services. That is called Fixed Base Operator. Feathering, the act of adjusting variable pitch propellers so that the blades are in line with airflow and do not create air resistance. Ferry flight, a flight intended to return an aircraft to base, deliver a new aircraft from the manufacturer to the purchaser, move an aircraft from the one operation base to another, or moving an aircraft for the purpose of maintenance. Final approach, a flight path running in the direction of the runway intended for landing that ends with a landing. Firewall, a fire-resistant bulkhead that is situated between the engine and other aircraft areas. 5 by 5, radio reception is loud and clear on a scale of 1 to 5. Fixed Base Operator, an organization at an airport that offers aviation services such as hangar, parking, tie-down space, airplane maintenance and rentals, and fuel. Flaps. Flaps are a kind of high lift device used to increase the lift of an aircraft wing at a given airspeed. Flap device is typically located on the edge of aircraft wing that control lift at specific speeds. That is called flaps. Player, a maneuver that typically occurs during the landing stage of an aircraft. The aircraft nose is pointed upwards, which lowers the descent rate in preparation for landing. Flight bag, a pilot flight bag is used to carry required documents and helpful tools such as a kneeboard, headset, and checklists. Flight computer. Many pilots really rely on the E6B flight computer to calculate fuel use, wind direction, etc. Flight deck, an area at the front of airplane where the pilot and aircraft controls are situated. In other words, the cockpit. Flight envelope, also known as the performance envelope or service envelope. This is the range of operating conditions under which an aircraft can fly, such as weight, airspeed, and altitude. Flight plan, formatted information provided by pilots or dispatchers regarding an upcoming flight, including details such as destination, path, timing, etc. Flying dirty, flying with extendable surface in their extended states to create drag, such as flaps extended and landing grayed out. FO, first officer second in command of the aircraft. Fog is a thick cloud of tiny water droplets at or near Earth's surface that obscures visibility. FSDO, Flight Standards District Office, local authority overseen by the FAA. Flight Service Station, an air traffic facility that provides information and service to pilots. Fuselage, the central portion of an aircraft which is intended to house the flight crew, passengers, and cargo. Learn more about the parts of the airplane that was discussed in separate discussion previously. The terminology that starts with alphabet G. General aviation, the division of civil aviation aircraft operations that includes all but commercial air transport and aerial work. Glass cockpit, a term used to describe an aircraft that is fully equipped with electronic, digital, flight instrument displays instead of analog style gauze. So basically, cockpit now becomes digital, but previously analog style. Still, there is analog style cockpit exist. So it's better to know both. Of course, digital cockpit is modern and smarter than analog. Jaws, nickname given to the autopilot system. Go around. A go around occurs when the pilot abandons a landing and goes around the flight pattern before attempting to land. Gross weight, the aircraft weight including people, cargo, fuel, etc. Ground effects, the increasing lift and decreasing drag that occurs as a result of an aircraft's wings as it gets closer to the ground. Ground speed, the horizontal speed of an aircraft relative to the surface below. The terminology that starts with alphabet H. Handoff, the action taken by ATC to transfer radar identification of an aircraft to another controller. Handshake, the initial interactions or greeting between two computers. Aircraft communicates with satellites for location purposes. Aeronautical satellite communication, that is SATCOM, systems are used to transmit messages from the cockpit as well as automated messages from onboard system. During this communication, a log-on request occurs, often called a ping. This process of interrogating the terminal is known as the handshake. Hangar, a building made to hold aircraft for storing, maintenance, and assembly, etc. Heavy. ATC uses term to refer to larger aircraft with maximum takeoff weight of 136 tons or more. Horizontal stabilizer. Horizontal stabilizer prevents up and down or pitching motion of the aircraft nose. Up and down pitching that is controlled by horizontal stabilizer. Hypoxia, a condition caused by low levels of oxygen that can lead to dizziness, disorientation, etc., posing extreme danger to pilots operating aircraft at high altitude. Terminology that starts with alphabet I. ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, is specialized agency of the United Nations, supports the aviation and navigation around the globe. ILS, Instrument Landing System, a system that uses radio waves to assist landings in IFR conditions. Instrument flight rules, regulations that define aircraft operations when pilots are not able to operate using visual interface. References. Instrument Landing System, a ground-based system that provides directional information for aircraft attempting to land in low visibility situations. Indicated airspeed (IAS), the speed of an aircraft displayed on the airspeed indicator, which is determined by the pilot static tube and does not take into account any outside factors. Instrument Meteorological conditions, weather conditions that describes a situation where pilots are not able to operate using visual reference. Alphabet J. Jet, an aircraft propelled by one or more jet engines. Joystick, the control column in the aircraft is often called a joystick. It is the main device that controls the aircraft and is typically mounted on the ceiling or floor if the aircraft has a joystick instead of a yoke. Alphabet K. KCAS, knots, calibrated airspeed, indicated airspeed corrected for instrument and position error. KIS, knots, indicated airspeed, read directly from airspeed indicator. Kneeboard, pilots attach a kneeboard to their thigh as a clipboard tool to organize tools, charts, etc. Knot, a measurement of speed that takes into account nautical miles. 1 knot is equal to 1 nautical mile per hour, 6,076 feet per hour. 1 mile per hour is equal to 1 mile per hour, 5,280 feet per hour. KTS, knots through airspeed, the speed of the aircraft relative to the air mass in which it is flying. Alphabet L, laminar flow airfoil, the smooth airflow even over an aircraft wing with minimized drag. Lift, the force that directly opposes aircraft weight generated primarily by the wings. Load factor, the smooth airflow over an aircraft wing with minimized drag. Longitudinal axis, the directional that runs horizontally from the aircraft nose to tail. While usually acronyms are a large part of the aviation jargon, this glossary of terms provide basic definition of airline lingo. We have compiled this direct dictionary that covers traditional pilots terms and includes funny phrases as well. Good luck.